from the Bible. And one of the things that I learned is a little acronym that was staring me in the Bible pages, and it didn't happen until a few years ago that I saw that there was a great acronym that always helped me remember that A stands for ask, S stands for seek, and K stands for knock. And you've heard, ask and you will receive, seek and you will find, and knock and the door will be opened unto you. Now, the interesting thing about all three of those words, they're all action verbs. You've got to actually take steps towards something and make things happen. So the real secret is what? By taking action, you get traction from your subtraction to your attraction. The real secret that they don't want you to know is action. And I'm serious about that. They don't want you to know. Because the less action that you really take, the more susceptible you are to sales pitches that promise you the hope of the goal without your own action. Does that make sense? Action is the magic ingredient, and where does that come from? It comes from you. Now, I believe in giving people hope. Hope is what gets you through those tough times when nothing seems to be going right. And hope is the only thing you've got. And I've had times in my life where that has been the situation. And I've had to look for any little ray of sunshine and focus on that and not even think about the negatives that were going on around me. And keep focusing on that light and working and scratching and crawling my way to that light of opportunity. And it kept getting brighter and opening up bigger, and I could move forward. Okay? You've got to focus forward. But the real secret is taking that action. That's all I have to say about this. But I would love to open it up for discussion, because I know there's a lot of people that have been influenced by the video and the secret, and there's controversy going back and forth. You can see I believe in both sides of it. But I believe in presenting the whole picture rather than just the hope side, or saying that, well, you can wish all you want to, nothing's ever going to happen. But I think it's a blend of all those things. But I think the biggest problem that people have is you got so many clutters and options and distractions and excuses that it's shielding you from your rightful attraction of what your goals are. Who's got a microphone?
Mark, I have a question. In this video, I've seen, for example, that you went through the very rough times, and I know that at the moment now you're a very successful marketer, one of the most influential in the world. But it would be very beneficial for all of us to know what tough situations you've been through. So could you share some of your difficult situations? Thank you.
No. In a short word, no. I mean, there's been financial situations, there's family situations, there's health situations, but I'm not one to tell my rags to riches kind of stories. I don't like those kind of stories. I never talk about it. If you ever hear me talk at a conference, I never talk about that stuff, and I'm not going to start now. Sorry. I will just tell you that, there's been times in my life where I'm not homeless. I always had, if I had a really tough time, I always had family that I could go to. But I've also had family say, hey, you're not going to live with us, forever, or we're not going to support you forever. It's like you need to get out and get busy. So there was always, look, you take action, you set yourself a goal, and we'll help out. But I always had the strength to know that, okay, there's the support system. And we all need that. That's what families and real friends are for. But if you abuse that relationship, that's not a good thing. And for family or friends to help you too much in supporting you and nurturing you at a tough time, that's not good for you either. You need to have somebody and my brother David, He's 16 years older. He's been the guy that in my tough times I could go to him and talk with him, and he would kind of help me set my course. Because when you're in a tough time, you're emotionally distraught. You can't think straight. And you need somebody to say, okay, where is your opportunity at this point in time? Because what do we know? In every adversity, what? Yeah, there's a seed of equivalent or greater benefit. And I believe that in all my heart. Write down this book title and go read it. Because this was it's going to say 2x4 on my forehead. But I'm going to say it's like a 4x6 or an 8x8. It really slugged me. It's called The Secret of the Vine. Secret of the Vine, V-I-N-E, by Bruce, I think it's Wilkinson. It's just a short little book. How do you buy it, Amazon or something like that? Secret of the Vine. And I'll tell you just a little bit about it. It is the story in the Bible of how the guy, what do they call it, the vineyard guy? Whoever takes care of vines, whatever they call that guy. How they prune the vines so that it would yield more grape. What a story. And if you've ever felt like you being pruned, and sometimes they prune you a little bit, and if you don't respond, what do? They prune you a lot. Okay? And that's when you feel like, my gosh, my life is like upside down, inside out, and I can't see up. Okay, have you ever been there? Therein lies your greatest opportunity for growth. Man, is that a hard period, though. But you've got to know that that's what's going on. And you've got to have that faith that that's what's going on, that there is something bigger and better to your purpose. And I've been through that. There's been like 4 or 5 times through my life where, that cycles. At this stage of the game, finally some light bulbs came on. That I'm tired of being pruned. Like I'm really trying to see the stuff coming now. Because I've been through that cycle of thinking, wow, everything is really going good. I'm on top of the world. And it's like, man, when you start thinking that way, you hear that little sound. Here come the pruning shears. So humility is a good thing, folks. Humility is a good thing. If you want to write that one down, stay humble and appreciative of everything you got, and continually work to put out as much good as you possibly can, help as many people as you possibly can, without being selfish about it. It's difficult to do that. You'll be rewarded and taken care of. Eli?
Yeah, I think the list in the CODE is a good one, but it occurs to me that there's maybe one barrier that hasn't been discussed that's probably pretty big with a lot of people, and I think that's fear. Mm-hmm. I think a lot of people don't act because of either fear of failure or maybe even fear of success or just fear of making a mistake or whatever. And maybe it's worth, talking a little bit about that and how that fits in.
Yeah.
What you might be able to do to overcome that.
Yeah, I don't know how that fits in my acronym, but it does fit in the concept. It kind of relates to back what I say about school. And it's my belief, when you're about 2, 3, and 4 years old, it's not only my belief, it's scientific evidence that that's the greatest learning period of a human's life. The kid, they just sponge up everything. They're not afraid to try things. They are the ultimate tester. They love trying things out. If it doesn't work, so what? They try something else, right? They don't take no for an answer, have you noticed? They just try a different way to phrase it to get you to do whatever they want you to do. Now, when does the change happen? When we go to school. We go from being the tester to the tested. And at this time, we go to school and we get tested and we get graded. It's not that, no, it didn't work, try again. It's, no, you got that wrong. You get a B, C, D, or F, which is a real shame. So all of you who went through school successfully, college, postgraduate work, all that kind of stuff, I'm sorry, but they really screwed you up. And you need to unlearn a lot of that stuff so that you can get back to that state to where you don't have that fear of trying things. You know, it's not a mistake. It's something that you tested, that the result that you were looking for wasn't that result. However, what did Edison tell us? I know 1,000 ways not to make a light bulb. There's value in that. And especially if you can, I learned this at an early age too, I always knew that I wanted to model and emulate success, but I also looked at things that didn't work. I also noticed that some people, weren't successful. Well, what can I learn from them? How not to do it, which is the same as, okay, if these 1,000 ways are not to make the light bulb, I don't have to try those 1,000 ways. I can just start where we have a light bulb and leverage off of that success. Okay, and that's the lesson there, is to leverage off successes, learn from somebody else's mistakes. That's the cheapest education. That's why books and training and education are so valuable, that you can, in a few short years of your life, attain knowledge about any body of knowledge, that has been accumulated over thousands and thousands of years. This is a marvel to me. And the printed word, and since then, other technologies have made that possible. And that truly is magical to me, that we don't have to rely from one person telling the next person through generations. That one person that can actually document the knowledge and experience and spread it worldwide quickly. And of course, because of the internet,